What's happening, everybody? It is a special Wednesday night edition of Thrifty Business with Jay and Nay. I'm your one host, Vegas Jay. Hello?
And I'm Philly Nay. I was trying to turn my volume down on the other screen. So
hello. So, in case you did not read the post, Nadine had some extensive dental work today.
Yes.
And she's a little swollen, a little woo. So
a little bit, yes.
Bear with her. I went to her and she was not there. Oh no. All right, as you can see, peeking in, our special guest tonight is my wife, Stacy. Yay! She'll be answering tons of questions. I know we'll probably run a little long, but we even got some last-minute questions that were pretty good. So I will we'll try and get to as many as we possibly can. So to do that, let's kick it off right now with. Oh, I'm not set up. I know I'm not.
Oh my goodness.
I know I'm not.
Oh, that's so figures.
Yeah. Beautiful wife's throwing me off.
Jay's Tiki.
There we go. Woo! It is Jay's Tiki Talk, where I share a rum with you and I talk about a mug I'm drinking out of to enlighten you to the collectability and resale of Tiki mugs. So tonight, and the reason I'm drinking out this mug is because it'll actually play a part in one of the questions later. This is the Stephen Crane Coup mug. Let me have a little sip. Okay, this is an old mug. Back in the old days, I guess people's fingers were smaller, and this mug is actually very short inside. This is a tiny, tiny drink. So, in honor of the open relations with Cuba and my new bitchin' T-shirt, we're having Cuban rum tonight, or I am having Cuban rum. So I'm having Havana Club Añejo Especial, and Stacy is drinking out of. Let's see her mug. We have a friend who makes mugs, Johnny Velour Ceramics, and
Cool.
That's her mug. And tonight she is drinking our favorite rum probably our favorite rum from the United States, Below Deck Spiced Rum from Portland.
So you guys want to know what I'm drinking? This is
I'm getting there. Hang on there, Speedy.
Okay.
Hang on there, Puffy Cheeks. All right, what you drinking?
Thanks. So if you guys don't recognize this logo, do you recognize the logo?
Glenda.
Yeah, so I used to work for the account at my old job that designed the logo and all of the promotional material for Splenda when it first came out. So I forgot to eat today because of my long doctor's visit day and my dental work, so I'm having lentil soup out of my Splenda mug tonight.
By the way, real quick, people are saying that mug looks like Ronald McDonald. That will play a part in the story later, too. So, yes, good eyes, and you shall see. All right, we did Tiki time. Now it is time for Nay's breast cancer update and fact of the week.
Yes. So my week has been obviously, as every week, it's been tough. I have, I'm trying to figure out, my lymph nodes are swollen in my neck right now, and I haven't said much about it, but my oncologist is trying to figure out why. So I am on antibiotics, and I am having some extensive testing on Friday, which will hopefully shed some light on that. If not, it could just be an infection. It could be cancer. I don't know yet. So I'm dealing with that. When you have breast cancer, it's always there's always a threat, especially when you're in my shoes with stage 3A. There's always a threat of it coming back. But I don't know yet, so I'll let you guys know next week what I find out on Friday. The good news, though, is that I've been having fun at my Bollywood class, which is just for breast cancer women. I did a yoga class this weekend for breast cancer women, and I'm having fun with all of that stuff. And, I'm just kind of going on. And coincidentally, I had some dental work today that I didn't know what I was signing up for, but my whole right side is swollen. If you can't tell, my lip is swollen. A couple hours ago, I was drooling involuntarily and I couldn't speak. So this is much better than that, but I am still swollen, and so bear with me with that. And I don't really have a tip for you tonight, except that breast cancer is the #1 type of cancer in women all over the world. So we really need some work on that. So That's about it, though. Tonight, I'm just gonna go on, and I'll let you guys know what happens next week after my appointments on Friday. So.
Good to hear. All right, let's get into it. Time for the scores of the week, brought to you by WorthPoint. All right, so at the last minute, I decided to run a little contest today, since my scores of the week were all my Prince sales. So I sold 32 Prince-related items. So records, both 7-inch and 12-inch, CDs, and a book. And so instead of showing each individually, we're kind of going to scroll through them. But the contest was, guess how much I sold in a dollar amount of Prince stuff. But I want to read you something first. Now, this is the reason we talk about selling stuff when someone famous passes, the arc that's going to hit the second they pass. Now, unfortunately for China the wrestler, her arc started to go a little bit. It wasn't going to be a big arc anyway, and then Prince died. So nobody remembered China. Farrah Fawcett died the same day as Michael Jackson. Most people don't remember that. But the bump up, people grieve by buying music. So this is USA Today, or yesterday. And here's the article. In the 3 days after Prince died, he sold 579,000 records. The 3 days prior to his death, he sold 1,400 records. So that was an increase of 42,000%. The very best of Prince sold 250,000 copies. Purple Rain sold 133,000. He will be at the top of the Billboard charts this week. And also, he sold 2.3 million songs. So, in death, there's nothing to bump up your career like death.
So let me just say, I have always been a Prince fan. I've loved Prince music. I know that he was very talented. But since his death, I've really started listening more to his music. I've listened to some of his covers, some more of his, kind of offbeat, off the path music, and I do appreciate him more now. So I'm sad.
Yep, so am I. So let's look at my sales, and we're just going to kind of scroll through here. Did a 5-record lot, 36, 5-record lot, 50, 19 singles for 152, 18 singles for 137, record 45. Purple Rain with the poster, and that's the key to that one. That sold for $60. Now, as a comparison, that with the poster was selling for like $25 a week ago. Here's a single for 40, single for 50, record for 40, 4-record lot for 80. This CD set sold for 100. So as you can see, fans were coming. Now, I just happen to have a whole Prince collection, so a lot of what you're seeing, some of it's normal stuff, but like this Prince it was a double promo LP, and the fourth side had remixes. That the only place to get it was this promo LP, so that sold for $80. So this is all my eBay stuff, and the grand total of just eBay, was $1,368.39. When you add that with the $344.94 I sold on Amazon, you get a grand total of $1,713.33. And our winner, who was only 67 cents off, holy cow, was she close? It is Sherry Hutton, guessed $1,714. So, Sherry, you won. And here's what you won, Sherry. Woo! Here's what Sherry has won. I got these cool lifeguard shot glasses and lunch. Ta-da! So you can have a shot and a sub. I'm going to save that. I'm going to save that. So, all right. So now we're into your scores, my dear.
Okay.
Here we go.
The moral of the story here is always buy the wallpaper borders. I sell these like crazy, and this particular one I bought by the pound. I paid cents on the dollar for it. Sold all 3. Always look for more than one. If you find one wallpaper border, look around the thrift store for more, because there's usually more. I did buy this at the by the pound outlet. And so obviously they were less than $1 for all 3, and I sold for $24.95 with free shipping. And they win. They don't weigh a lot, so they went for, the shipping wasn't a lot, so that was a good deal. So $24.95 for basically paying cents on the dollar. Starbucks.
Portland, too funny.
Yeah, and our viewer Lisa bought this from me. Thank you, Lisa. And this was I love selling Starbucks mugs, especially the city mugs, when you can ship them in a padded flat rate envelope for, with the FOMO method for $5.60 and $24.95. Not bad, that's like a $20 profit. And I think this was at my local Goodwill for 99 cents, and it's an awesome mug, so that was a really good price at Goodwill. And these were part of the Jason and Nay, the J and Nay handbag versus shoes challenge.
I should probably list my handbags, huh?
You should probably start listing them because I've sold 2 pairs of the shoes now. So this is the second pair of shoes I sold from that challenge, and I paid $2 for these in the $2 section at Philly Aids Thrift. And I sold them for $25.99, and they were a smaller size, and they were flat, so they fit in a padded flat rate envelope. So that was a decent profit for $2.
And that was your last score, right?
Yeah, that's my last score for now.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't want to jump ahead. I couldn't remember.
No, you're fine.
All right, cool. We've done our scores. Now it is time for... Oh, crap. I was actually on top of it. I blew it. Whoops. Now it's time for our duds of the week. Let our mistakes not be yours. And by the way, Sherry, message me on Facebook, please. You're going to message me by the end of the show because it was all contingent on tuning in live. Oops. All right, let's get to our duds. Now you can start us off because I got yours lined up next.
Okay.
All right, here we go. It's our dud time. Wah, wah, wah. There we go.
Okay, so this is also going to be in my later shipping tip. This would have been a score. It was a beautiful dish. It was a vintage dish. It was a deviled egg dish, and it sat in my store for quite a while. I sold it for $28.95, which seems like a good price, but I really messed up on the shipping. It was heavy. It weighed about 6 pounds, believe it or not, and I did not calculate the shipping well enough with the free shipping. So that was why it was a dud. However, it was a beautiful dish, and if I had sold it for more, I think it would have gone for more, and it would not have been a dud.
And it looks good on black. Very nice.
Yeah, that was a good. And this one was a dud because this is an awesome 80s shirt. It was like one of those, cropped 80s style. And Cara Little is a good brand, especially when you're dealing with Cara Little of the 80s, not the current Cara Little. And it was rayon, which also is a good indication of the vintage Cara Little. But the problem was it sat in my store for so long, and I had it at $39.99, which I thought it would really sell at. But somebody offered me $20 the other day, and I was glad to take it because it's just been sitting for so long. So that actually went out. I dropped it at my post office this morning. It went out. It's gone. $20.
Bye-bye.
Exactly. So. And Marilyn Monroe was another dud. Hallmark ornaments are really odd. You really have to look up the solds on those. You really have to look from the highest to the lowest completed. Some of them really do well, but others just are duds. And I thought Marilyn would be a better seller, but she wasn't. She went for $10.90 with free shipping. The shipping was $2.60. And so when you calculate my eBay fees, my PayPal fees, you can... And I think I paid like 99 cents for her. So I made a little bit, but really it wasn't worth the hassle, the listing, for that kind of profit. So.
But don't sleep on Hallmark. When we did the first season of Thrift Hunters, I bought a whole collection, and some of them sold for like $60 and $75 a piece.
Yeah, it really depends on the particular ornament. When you're in the thrift store, if you find hallmarks, you really have to look up. You really have to spend your time in the thrift store to do your research before you buy them. I just bought Marilyn, thinking it's Marilyn, she'll sell, but I was wrong on that one.
All right, this Pearl Gem shirt actually sold for only $10. It was a small. It's not all that exciting. I should have left it at the store. And then these next two were from Thrift Hunters. That's how long they've been in my store. Somebody gave me an offer of $12 for this Fry Guy T-shirt. I took it. I was happy. I've been in my store for almost 2 years now. Bye-bye. And then I thought these were awesome. Rust Togs Coral Pants. They still had the new tags from Gimbals. And I thought somebody would love that, like maybe a TV show or something. I do notice now my picture is out of focus. I will yell at my old assistant for that. But I thought, they were kind of cool. But apparently nobody else did. I finally sold them for $10 with free shipping. So bye-bye. There they went. There they went.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, cool. So we've done our duds, and now it is time for... Close Encounters of the Thrifty Kind.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I don't think I've shared this on the show. I hope not. I think Nate knows the story, but I happened to think about it the other day, and it's one of my favorites. Back in the old days, and I say old days, I mean like 4 or 5 years ago, we had to go to the post office to drop off our packages. I know some of you still do that, but you don't have to. You can get a daily pickup. I have a large white SUV, and I came out for the pickup, and I think I was looking at my phone, pushed the unlock button, I heard my car unlock. I opened the door, and I hopped in, and my SUV has a turn ignition with no key, so you don't have to have the key in it. I went to turn the ignition, and I thought, that's weird. All of a sudden, I have an ignition that needs a key. Not realizing I'm in the wrong car. I'm still not realizing I'm in the wrong car.
Yeah.
Silly me. And then I started to look around the car. I'm like, oh, there's a lot of crap in this car. And then the guy was standing at the door going, hey, you're in my car. I'm like, oh, sorry about that. And I looked. My car was right next to his. I thought it was funny. I don't think he thought it was too funny. I go, that's my car right there. You can see the mistake. Chevy, But, so, yeah, that was my thrifty experience from dropping off or my Close Encounters, dropping off the packages and getting in the wrong car. Whoops.
Yes, I've done that before, too. My husband has a black Maxima, and I actually, he was pulled up at the post office one day, and, because I was going to drop it off the post office, and I got into the car in front of him, which is also a black car that looks like his Maxima, and I sat down in the car. I got in, and the guy next to me just looked at me, and he was like, wrong car. So yes, it was so I've done it too. Very embarrassing. So my thrifty encounter at my local thrift store, they have free bins that are out in front of the thrift store, and they fill them every so often. It's a random time. You don't know when they're going to get filled with just a bunch of free stuff that has sat in the thrift store for about a year or over. So they just come out with these big bags and just dump them in the bin. So I happened to, the other day, after my doctor's appointment, I was like, you know what, I'm going to go to my thrift store and just to kind of like, do something different. And I went there, and I happened to get there. I walked up right in front when the guy was dumping the bags in the bin, so it was perfect timing. And I found some really great finds, some books that, I'm a big book junkie, I'm a book nerd, so I found some books that I actually want to read, some music books, one that Jason said might sell for $50, we'll see. I'll let you guys know on that. And a couple of CDs, which will sell for at least $10 each. This is all free stuff. So I just picked the free bins as fast as they came in, and this woman was standing next to me, and it was a warmer day. Today was freezing in Philly, but it was a warmer day the other day, and she stepped on my foot hard. And
you punch her?
And, yeah. So I said, ouch, like it hurt. I was wearing flip-flops, and she turned around, and she looked at me, and she said, well, I was trying to get to your bin. Like, it was just okay to step on my foot. Like, like I was trying to get to your bin, so that's okay. That's normal to step on your foot and hurt you. Like, no sorry, no nothing. Just I was trying to get to your bin. So So
I'll ask again. Did you punch her?
No, I didn't. I was just like, well, you stepped on my foot, and that was a little painful. And she just like kind of looked, and she was like, well, I was just trying to get to your bin. So she didn't really hurt me that bad, but she did leave an ugly black mark on my pink breast cancer flip flop, which annoyed me a little bit. So yeah. So the point is, when you're in those free bins, it's like a piranha fest. People are, when they put out the stuff and they dump those bags, it's just like people just go for it. And if you're not there at that moment, you're gonna miss out. So it's kind of like the Goodwill outlets that Stacy does not like.
Yep. We'll get to those. All right.
I don't like this either.
Now it's time. I want it louder. Now it's time for our thrifty tips of the week. All right, so mine's going to revolve around prints because it's pretty much all prints all week. We went to a record store. Was it the day after his death or 2 days?
It was Saturday.
Oh, so it was,
Right?
yeah.
He died on Thursday.
Yeah, so we went to a record store 2 days after Prince had passed, and so you would think they'd all be sold out of everything. But you'd be wrong. Stacy found a book in the book section of Prince. So here's the book she found, 21 Nights. It's a hardcover book that came with a CD, and they had $7.99 on it, and I flipped it for $55 within about 2 hours. So my tip is, if someone famous passes, a musician especially, and you go to the record store right away if you live near one, just because you didn't get there right away doesn't mean there might not be something there. You just got to do a little digging. So well done to my wife who doesn't like to thrift. All right, now you're up. You got a picture, right?
I do, yeah. So
Here it comes.
thank you. So my thrifty tip actually is from Jason. Jason said he was talking about some lamps that he bought a while ago, and I guess he was just purchasing them for his own home, which he said, I said, well, I don't ever search the lamp section. I don't look at it. I just, they're a pain to ship. And he was like, well, what's the big deal? You can sell them on Craigslist or you can ship them. It's not that big of a deal. You should check out the lamp section. So ever since he said that, I have been checking out the lamp section. So my tip to everyone is to look at the lamp section. Don't be intimidated on the shipping. And this little boy lamp was just, I did not buy him, but there was just something about him that was just so charming that I had to photograph myself with him. So
your tip is to go look and not buy.
Yeah. No, if I find something that's really worth buying, I will buy it.
That's your tip.
But there is something I kind of wish I had bought him because I think someone would have purchased him. He was just really charming. I don't know.
That's too funny.
Yeah.
All right, so there's our thrifty tips, and now it is time for You Have Got to Be Shipping Me, where Nay and I share shipping tips, both what to do and what not to do. Mine's going to be a combo this week, what to do and what not to do. So a good friend of Stacy and I's, he's a Tiki artist. His name is Matt Reese. He came out with his shirt. I go, dude, I need that shirt. I go, I need a 3X. He didn't have any, so he made one for me. So here's this shirt, and it is badass.
Nice.
Yeah, that's his artwork.
Okay.
All right. So the to-do part is kind of neat. If you're an artist and you can throw a little art on your package, it'll make your customer smile. Look what he drew on my package. That is awesome. As soon as I pull it out of the mail, I smiled. Now, here's what the not to do part. I will be calling Matt this weekend and helping him with his shipping. The dumb post office hoodwinked him in. Now, look, we don't disparage the post office often, but this is bullshit. Hoodwinked him into buying a $2 mailer, which he didn't need a padded mailer. And then look at the price. If you would have thrown that in a flat rate envelope, which a T-shirt will fit, it would have been under $6.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of miffed at the post office, and he needs a little help with his shipping skills because I need to save him some money. And I owe him some more money. He goes, oh, it'll be about $5. Somehow he got hoodwinked into $9.
Even better, a T-shirt will go under the 16-ounce.
Oh, right, yeah, yeah. This will ship in a pound.
You can ship that in just a poly mailer for first class shipping and at like $3.60.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to help him, but really the tip is, boy, if you're an artist and you can throw just a little scribble on there and make your customer smile, like I'm not going to throw this away. I'm going to hang this up. That's awesome.
And technically, I could do that, but it requires.
Well, you don't have time, but hey.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're up.
My shipping tip. I need a photo. I need my link for that from my egg dish. So my shipping tip is that if you have a heavy item, like my link that Jay's going to put up for my egg dish that I sold, yes, thank you. That weighed 6 pounds. Now, as some of you might know in the group, I lost my top-rated seller status this past week, which was due to some post office errors. It was not my fault. However, I'm moving on. I'm being positive about it, and I will get it back, so we're not talking about that. My point is, I said to Jay, I was like, this was free shipping, and look, I have to pay $16 to ship this thing. And he was like, well, how much would it have been with your top-rated seller discount? I was like, I don't know, $13.52. And he was like, well, really? That would have been a good profit for you too? And I said, no, you're right. So my point is, I really underpriced this, considering the shipping, and I had free shipping on it, and considering that it was 6 pounds. So if you have something heavy, really calculate your shipping and don't underprice the item. I should have really either done shipping, paid by customer, or free shipping and priced it at another $10 extra. So I lost out on that, not because I lost my TRS, but because I underpriced the item with free shipping. So always be conscientious of that.
Then real quick to add to mine real quick, people are saying, you just throw a couple stickers on. Yeah, you're right. And I forgot, I haven't used this in a while, but when I sell Tiki mugs, I have Tiki tape. So even that will, it'll make your customer smile. Just that little bit will make your customer smile.
True.
And that's what creates repeat customers. So keep that in mind. Alrighty, it is now time for the viewer's 2-minute topic of the week. And our question this week is by Nellie Karpinski, who is one of our guests. And hello, Nellie. Thank you. Do you have a set budget for thrifting, or spend a percentage of your sales for the week? Do you use a specific card for thrifting only? And what she means is credit card. All right, now you can start it off. Here we go. Let me get the timer in the window. Okay, and go.
So my pre-cancer life and my current situation are different. So before when I was thrifting, before I had cancer and all the bills and everything, I would take I do not have a PayPal card on purpose because I don't want to spend my PayPal money like that. I transfer it to my bank account, and I allow myself about 20% of the profits that I make per week to put back into my business. So that's traditionally what I do. Now what I do is I just have so much to list right now, so I'm really not thrifting much. If I do thrift, I put myself on like a $10 budget a week, if that. And actually this past week I did well because I hit the free bins. I got a pair of new tag slippers for $2. I got a Robert Graham shirt for $1 in the dollar section. However, it is a woman's shirt that has been shrunk, so I have to list it as such. But there we go. Okay.
All right. Oops. Stop. Reset. Oh, I start. Okay. So I'm different than the norm. I just kind of willy-nilly it, as my wife is laughing over here. Yeah. So I don't really set a budget, and one time I mentioned that on stage at an eBay event, and Griff, if you know who Griff is, looked at me and went, "I am shocked you're successful." So, but I do it. But more importantly, I do have 2 business credit cards. I did make an LLC, Big Girl LLC, and I do have 2 business cards, a Visa and American Express. My American Express is my main rewards card. It's tied to my timeshare. It's tied to all the Starwood hotels around the world. And then my secondary, when they don't take American Express, is my Southwest card, because that's what I fly. So I make damn well sure that every dollar I spend for work pays me back for vacation or something somehow. So, yes, I would definitely have a card. Plus, it's so much easier to keep track of when you're doing taxes. Nice!
You did better than me.
Nice. All right. So our last segment of the night. Let me get that out of here.
Mm-hmm.
My timer. Don't need a timer no more. We switch up segments every week, and this week's segment is
Yes.
Thrift Up Your Life. Now, when you go to the thrift store, we're all looking for stuff to flip, but don't forget about taking care of yourself. You know, you can find clothes in your size, you can find household goods, or you can find stuff you need in your office.
Mm-hmm.
Help a brother out here, sister. Come on.
I didn't know what my cue was.
So this is one of the things that I thrifted. And you got to keep your eyes open. Now she's getting a little blown out from the lights. Let's move the light here. This is my big girl mannequin. I had already had a small girl mannequin, but muumuus and large bras were not looking good. They're looking very sad. And so one day I was leaning on this mannequin, and somebody had torn the price tag off. And normally they won't sell you something without the price tag. But luckily they know me. I go, what's the price? And he goes, I don't remember. How's $20 sound? And I had 30% off. I said, it sounds wonderful. So make sure to remember to keep your eyes open for stuff for your office, stuff you need.
Awesome. So you have a plus size mannequin. That's cool.
Yep.
Okay, so I have two things. Actually, the dress I'm wearing is a vintage. I can't step back too far, but if you can tell, it's a really cool handmade vintage dress, and I love it. So that's my one find. And my other find is this Swiss Army brand backpack that I got for $1.99 because it was so beat up. It had marker, it had ink all over it, it was dirty inside. So what I did, this is my secret, I do this with most of my my Vera Bradley bags that I find, and anything similar. I threw it in the washing machine on a regular cycle. I went through the whole cycle, and I just laid it flat dry. All the marker is out, all the dirty spots are out. I have a beautiful Swiss Army bag, and what I will use this for is whenever I go on a flight or I travel, I like to have I like my carry-on to be on my back because it's much easier, and this is huge, so it holds a lot, so it'll serve that purpose. Plus, my youngest boy is still in diapers, and with having 3 boys and going places with them, I need a bigger than normal bag. It's easier to just throw a backpack on my back. So this has a lot of sections. It's great for $2. It's perfectly clean and it's like new. So just throw it in the washing machine.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, before we get to our guest today, we already have our guest for next week, and many of you know him, so I wanted to give a little advance promotion. Steve Rakin, or Rakin Prophet, he's become a real good friend over the last couple of years. And the one thing we're going to talk about next week is FBA, which is fulfillment by Amazon. But the way he does FBA is he goes into pawn shops and thrift stores and gets one-off electronics and ships them in and makes good money doing it. So we're going to talk about that. So you don't have to change what you're doing as a thrifter. You just are going to be learning a new avenue. But more than that, and fun, on YouTube, Rakin did a review of Thrift Hunters when it first came out before he knew me. So he wasn't too harsh, but we will be busting his balls. So tune in for that next week. We're back on Thursday next week. Rakin's our guest. And Nay and I want to announce something awesome tonight.
Oh, you're announcing that now?
Yeah. What the hell? We have 216 live viewers. Thank you very much. You all tuned in to see Stacy bust my balls. And so that's going to be awesome. But our 1-year anniversary of Thrifty Business with J&A is coming up very soon. And we have an extra special show. I cannot wait to do it. The first weekend in June, I'm not exactly sure of the date. It might be Friday, it might be Saturday. We are going to be coming to you live from the best thrift store in the country, right in Nadine's hometown, Philadelphia, Philly AIDS Thrift. You've seen us talk about it. You've heard us talk about it. You've seen me Periscope from there. We talk about it all the time. They are so excited to have us. We're going to be live from their used furniture section. We're going to have an in-studio audience. We're going to take you on a tour of the store. It's going to be epic. So be ready the 1st of June. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, our actual, I think it was the 4th of June, we did our first official show, and that was when I announced the fact that I had just learned that I had breast cancer. So I can't believe it's been a whole year. This is going to be amazing. We love the store. They're excited to have us. So.
Oh,
It's
and
gonna
then
be fun.
one other thing too. The reason I'm flying to Philly is I'm actually speaking in Port Huron the following weekend, so north of Detroit. So Nay and I are going to be doing a thrifting class in the Philly area that weekend. I will then be moving on to doing a class in Pittsburgh, more than likely, then a class in Cleveland, and then a class in Detroit, and then I speak in Port Huron. So stay tuned for all those events. We're going to have classes. We're going to be doing a show. I'm going to be giving a talk. It's going to be a crazy, hectic week. I'll be on the road for 10 days, so
Yay.
it'll be yay. What?
She's like.
All right, well, you hear her. Let's get her in here since she wants to be a funny girl. Who's our guest this week? Oh, it's my wife, Stacy. All right, now you talk for a second. I'm going to flip our chairs around here.
Okay. Hey, Stacy. So I happen to love Stacy. She's awesome. She's really sweet. She is going to be an amazing guest, and I love some of the questions that she's going to answer, and I know she's going to be very honest, and all I can say is good luck, Jay.
What have I done? What have I got myself into?
This is going to be fun. I've been looking forward to this all week.
All right, get in here, girl.
Okay, man.
Let's get this going. Oops, I'm stuck.
You sit, and then I'll...
I'm stuck. All right. Here we are. Yay!
Okay.
Whew, that was a lot of work.
All right, so we won't give too much pre-text because a lot of the questions will get into how we met. But just as a heads up, in case you don't know, married for 22, together for 26.
Ooh.
Yeah. Okay, but...
We don't hear that out loud much. When you say it, it's rather daunting.
Yeah. All right. You can start with the first question, and we took questions from the audience, so we'll read the question and who sent it in, and we'll let Stacy do it.
So this is from our friend Henry Sherrick, and he asked, what do you think of Thrift Hunter? What did you think of Thrift Hunters? And what do you think will ever get Jason out of a big house with all of that inventory?
Great question. Thanks, Henry. So I loved Thrift Hunters. I mean, as far as a viewer, I thought it was a great show. It actually made me appreciate what Jason does a little more than I do, because I really don't.
Already.
But so it was cool. It was a lot of work, but it was neat to see him on TV and stuff. As far as the smaller house, I mean, that's kind of our plan, even though I don't know how realistic he of a plan he thinks we have. But when we move to New York for a year into some little 800 square foot apartment, we're going to have to probably downsize and maybe sell some of our stuff to be able to afford to do that. And then we also want to retire in Florida. So chances are, within the next 15 years or so, he's going to have to part with some of his stuff. Or we'll be stuck here in Vegas forever in a big house. So, which wouldn't be the worst thing.
Okay.
All right.
Good answer.
Our next question is from Kimberly. I say your name. Do you know her name?
McCracken Castanelli.
Thank you, McCracken Castanelli. That's a lot of letters, Kimberly. How about we call you Kim? Because you had lots of questions. When I say Kim, this is who we're talking about. Are there times that Stacy might get mad at Jason for overbuying or taking up a room that is specifically for something else? Oh, no. Oh, no.
I'm past the getting mad, because this is the life I have chosen, or has been chosen for me, however that works. But as much as I give him crap for this, it is kind of contained, at least upstairs, and on the bar, and in the family room. So now that I think about it, yeah, pretty much. Garage, yes. My car is in the garage. His is not, and I'm pretty sure it will not ever be again. So yeah, it's just.
Has he gotten his stuff out of the hallway?
Yes, but now it's back in the spare bedroom. So.
Okay.
It's not a hazard anymore.
That's good.
You're up, girlfriend.
Stacy, this is from Kimberly again. Do you go with Jason on his thrifting days? How do you handle it? And she said, my mom just waits for me when I'm done because I have a system. She does look, but most of the stuff is her junk, but she wants me to be successful in this business.
Most of the stuff to her is junk.
I'm sorry. Yes.
Because that could change the whole meaning.
So I think your mom and I should hang out. So I don't go, like if he goes during the week, I don't go because I have a real job.
What? A real job?
I have a
Screw this! I'm out of here.
I have a weekday job, and on the weekends, usually what happens is that we negotiate. So we'll have errands that we need to do, and coincidentally, they'll somehow always be near a Savers or some other thrift store. Or
we
something.
Do have 6.
So yeah, I've been mastering the look so that he knows, and I'll try to replicate it for you guys right now. So it's kind of like
here, lean in, really give a good close-up of the look. That's the look that every spouse should know. It's time to go.
Yeah. So so he's pretty good about limiting the time or trying to bribe me with stuff, but I just try to avoid going if I can.
Okay.
All right, our first question, because we got a few from Lynn Hudziak. Has Jason always had a beard since you've known him? What are your true feelings about the beard? Would you like to see it gone?
Well, it grows on you, haha. No pun intended. But this is his, and I've lost track. I think this is his winter beard from, is it 6 winters ago? Longer.
Oh no, we're like 8, 9 years now.
Yeah, I lost track. So he used to shave everything all the time, and it got to be the point where he's like, he has to shave his head because that's nasty if he lets that grow. But he's like, I'm just gonna take a break from shaving. And I'm like, all right.
Oh, this is a long break.
It just
yeah.
So now, I don't. You know what? I think it would be weird to see him without it now. So it doesn't bother me. It's just part of his look. I know his mom's gonna be sad that I said that, but it really doesn't bother me, and I think it would be weird to see him without it. And our hairdresser lives across the street, so she keeps it kind of tidy.
That helps.
She cleans it up in the garage for me. So.
Okay. Oh my.
All right, giggles.
Next.
All right, you're up.
No, you're up. I just asked.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm sorry. You're right. So, Stacy, do you like the Spice Girls, or better yet, Spice Girls or Selena?
Well,
that's a throwback to Chad's episode.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even dare to put myself in the same category as Jason, but they're fine. I would prefer the Spice Girls over Selena. Sorry, but
I can say that.
Yeah, I think I have 1 or 2 Spice Girls on my iPod for when I run. You know, the more upbeat tunes.
Okay.
Colors of the world, spice up your life, every boy and every girl.
So it's not like exuberant like him, but you're okay with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a lot of other things that bother me way more than his love for the Spice Girls. So.
I'm guessing we'll get to those.
Oh, yes. Okay.
All right. So our next question is from David Ewing. Stacy, are you a Tiki fanatic like Jason?
I'm pretty sure there's hardly anybody who's a Tiki fanatic like Jason.
I'll drink to that.
I love the the tropical laid back experience, the whole vibe that our house has, at least the rooms that don't have all the crap in it. So I like it. It's just I would never go to the extreme that he does on pretty much anything really. But yes, I'm not a fanatic, but I enjoy it.
Okay.
You love our house, right?
I did. I said the rooms that don't have all the other shit in it.
All right.
Sorry.
All right, you're up, Nay.
Okay, so this is from Sarah Gottfried. When you guys are out on a date, out to dinner, drinking, or at a concert, is Jason constantly on social media or responding to eBay buying questions, or does he make a point of tuning all of that stuff out to give you his undivided attention?
I think that answers your question. Not only does he not tune the social media out, he somehow can tune me out, even though during the show he has like 50 things going on and he can keep track. But if I ask him a question during dinner, somehow he doesn't hear it. And if I ask him, hey, let's just do like 10 minutes of just no phone, and then he'll be like, fine, what do you want to talk about?
Oh.
You're making me sound awful now.
Well, it's annoying.
It is.
Hey, they asked the question. So
I don't even know what else to say. Okay.
So this next question kind of
Oh, I'm sorry.
what giggles?
But she's already saw the next question.
This kind of plays off something we were asked. Hey, do you know how to say Chris's last name, Nay?
Riapole.
Riapole. What boundaries are important for you to set, or have you set so far as business versus living space in the house?
None.
I mean, either or both physical boundaries, designated areas, or something more intangible. What is your criteria for when the fun meter has peaked?
Oh, the fun meter has busted. It is off. Like, you know, when you see the cartoon and the thing's just spinning. And I don't mean like because it's like so fun spinning. It's just that it doesn't even register because the fun is so gone. But anyways.
I don't know. I haven't been following the chat, but somebody said makeup sex is always good. Okay, sure.
But so honestly, there is. I think in my younger days, I attempted to have boundaries, and as I get older, it's just not worth it. So as long as it's not a fire hazard, it goes. And I'll say probably once a month I do have a little bit of a meltdown, and then he cleans up for like a day. And then he goes shopping again, and it starts all over. I'm just too good-hearted. That's what it is. He's spoiled. I'm an enabler.
I can say that. Okay. Okay. So, am I on now? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So this is from Terry Moore. Stacy, what is your favorite and least favorite thing about Jason selling on eBay? Example, he's around the house more.
Well, I have to say I have intruded on his space because he's worked out of the house forever, and I just switched jobs, so now I'm working out of the house too. But the interesting thing about that is all the things that he used to do because I was at the office and he was home, now I do it all. So taking the dogs out, and I find a way to like clean up the house a little bit in between conference calls and do the dishes. So so he's really lucked out for me now working out of the house. So I'm not sure if I have a favorite thing. Because we really don't see each other very much because I'm downstairs doing my thing. He's upstairs doing his thing. I'm on conference calls all day. Sometimes we do get to see each other for lunch, or we sneak off and go out to lunch if I'm done. So it's nice being around. But there's really nothing that I hate about it. It's just getting used to having each other in each other's space. When we used to not have that.
That makes sense.
Something nice about me. Okay, fine. All right, this is from Nay.
Yeah, this is my favorite question.
Yeah, she was giggling about this before we went on the air. What is your biggest Jason pet peeve? Only one. I know I'm giving you a challenge. That's it. I'm out of here.
All right. Well, you may be out of here after I answer.
Oh no!
It's a visual.
It's a visual. Oh no!
Oh no!
I didn't realize this is gonna.
She really took my question seriously. Yes.
Pet peeve. Here's my underwear. Hey, those are still good.
Oh no! Oh no! Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Refuses to throw underwear away.
Are you kidding me? No way.
Yeah, and this isn't bad. There are some that.
Oh no! No! That has holes in it. Like there's.
Well,
wait. Can you show the crotch again?
It's like air conditioning.
Can you show? Can you pull up the crotch shot again?
Yeah.
Hey, guys who are watching, these are still good.
No, come on now. Are you kidding me?
What is that? That's my underwear.
Every once in a while, I'll just throw some away, but I think he knows. I think he finds them and takes them out of the garbage. I really think he knows.
Yes, I'm very red. Everyone keeps talking about
no.
instead of purple now.
So
how what else is in your pockets, asshole?
No, wait, Stacy. So we need to talk about this. So how many pairs does he have like that?
He's got a lot of underwear, so I would think he could get rid of them. But
See,
I would say
those are just broken in. Those are just nicely broken in. See, people get it.
There's probably at least 10 that should go.
Wow.
All right, moving on.
Okay.
We got a lot of
All right.
questions, and we're running late.
Good answer. Thank you.
You're welcome. I thought you'd like that.
Becky Bailey, what is the secret of your successful relationship? How do you fight, and are the chores split 50-50?
We don't really fight. We really don't fight that much.
Whatever.
He's stubborn. And I used to be more stubborn, but like I said, at this point, I'm like, it's something. It's just not. We pick your battles, and anything that we fight about is so silly. And I'm right, so I just let it go because I know I'm right, and just let him think he's right, and then we just move on. What was the other part of that question? Chores. Well, as I mentioned in my previous comments, it's probably more like 90-10. 90-10.
I'll agree with that.
Yeah.
Next.
Okay, so Barbara Colson asked, what's the weirdest thing that he's brought home to sell that you couldn't wait till it was gone?
Well, yeah, I would say the jackalope is the weirdest, but he has no plans on selling it.
Yeah. No, the jackalope ain't going nowhere.
Oh.
But that was, and that other thing that used to be alive. What did, was it
Used
some
to
kind
be
of
alive?
skull? But didn't you buy some
Oh
kind
yeah,
of skull?
it's over there.
Some scully thing. Yeah, the things that used to be alive I could do without.
So I am a vegan, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
That's a good answer. All right, another question from Barbara Colson. Where you like to vacation and weirdest vacation experience or a place that you wouldn't go back to. So yay, we're off the thrifting for a second.
So where do we like to vacation? Is that the first?
Yeah, where you like to vacation and the weirdest vacation experience or a place you wouldn't go back to.
So I would say our two favorite spots are New York City and Key West. So like the polar opposites of places.
Yeah, no kidding.
Because you just do completely different things, but that's just kind of, you know, how we, depending on what kind of mood we're in. Those are our two favorite places. I'm trying to think if there's a place we've gone that we really wouldn't want to go back to.
Come on, you got these
Pigeon Forge.
I love Pigeon
I could
Forge.
do without that.
Whatever. Pigeon Forge and Gallenberg rock. I'll leave you at home next time.
Well, you do it once, and then
Hollywood.
you're like, I'm good. I don't have to do that again.
Oh.
Yeah, so that was probably, it was just, you know, I'm not into the whole Southern thing.
Don't turn off our viewers. You just insulted every Tennessee viewer.
I'm just saying, for vacation, I wouldn't choose to go back there.
All right.
That's it.
All right.
Julie Zucalius asks, what was your best score, Stacy, while thrifting?
Well, funny you should ask, Julie, because this was my best score. And we were thrifting, one of those rare times when I was like, all right, I'll go.
We weren't thrifting, we were antiquing.
Well, we were antiquing. And as you can tell, I'm slightly height challenged in the opposite direction of Jason's height. And this was on the bottom shelf, kind of in the back. And so that's where usually I look. I look at the bottom stuff. He looks at the top stuff. So we make a good team. And he had walked by these shelves already. So I grabbed it and I kind of did, what's her name, Mary Catherine Gallagher from Saturday Night Live. And I was just like, superstar.
Now,
I held up.
The reason I brought that, when people say it looks like Ronald McDonald, this was labeled Clown Mug, $10. This is a rare Tiki mug worth $100.
Wow.
So I'm drinking out of a $100 mug tonight. Woo!
Woo!
Good job.
Rum tastes better out
Yes.
of those mugs. Yeah.
All right, from Linda Hubble. Stacy, who gets the first kiss of the day from Jason, you or the pugs?
I would say, well, first, nothing happens before he has his Diet Coke, which I actually have to put in the freezer 45 minutes before he drinks it, because it has to be right at the right
That's a good wife.
temperature. So Diet Coke, and then I think by that time, I'm already working, so the pugs get it first.
Usually my little girl, because my boy sits with her, and so when I'm in the kitchen making breakfast and Stacy's on a call, my little girl comes over, so she gets the first kiss of the day.
Okay. So Annie Welty asks, Stacy, my husband is always trying to intercept my scores for himself. Do you get to cherry pick his finds before he lists them for sale?
I do. Like typically, I'm not even a big shopper like regularly. So normally, he'll bring stuff home that he thinks I'll want. Like vintage dresses, which I have a awesome collection of vintage Hawaiian dresses. mostly due to him finding them. So I'll take a look. Sometimes we found some awesome concert T-shirts. So yeah, I do get first dibs. But usually I'll be like, well, how much is it worth? How much can you sell it for? And I usually lean towards get rid.
Got it.
All right, our next question is from Kara Cooper. Stacy, can you tell us a story of why Jason is forbidden from drinking sangria?
I could tell the story. I'll make it quick. So we were in Key West, funny enough, and we were out on an excursion. So you're out in the sun all day. It's the whole thing. You're on a catamaran out, of course, in the sun, and then you do kayaking and snorkeling, and then on your way back you get this nice big spread. Back in the day, the shrimp cocktail was huge, and they make unlimited beer and wine, and they made this homemade sangria. Of course, it has a lot of fresh fruit and sugar, and tastes really yummy going down. And as you know, Jason doesn't necessarily have a filter as far as when enough's enough. So he just kept drinking, and of course with the sun and everything else, he puked a few times. I don't even know how many times.
You're skipping too far. You're skipping
it. Fine. Finish.
Bartender was cute, so just talking to her while she's pouring sugar into wine. I'm like, that's more of that. Okay. So I had like a pitcher by myself. So he was
flirting and drinking.
And I had puked and passed out by 3 p.m.
Yeah. And then, of course, we got up later to go to dinner, and we actually had the waiter take a picture, because you're tourists, so that's what you do. And so I'm drinking a beer, and he's drinking iced tea at dinner, so that's how you know that he was still...
I was hungover by 8 p.m.
Yeah. So no more sangria for him.
And yes, Nanette asked, yes, we've been to the Hemingway house with all the cats.
Wow.
All right, you're up.
Okay. So, Debbie Sokulski from our lifeguard team asks, how did you two meet? You met in 1990. Where? And have you always lived in Vegas, Stacy?
Okay, so we met at the bar that Jason and Jason's dad and a couple of his buddies owned.
What up to Jammers?
Woo, Jammers. Rest in peace. My friend, so this is funny. So my friend worked for a radio station, and they were doing some advertising. So she had been there the night before, and they had to finish up some paperwork. So she said, come down with me. We'll go. It was in an area where there was a whole bunch of bars and stuff in the flats in Cleveland, if you're familiar with that. So she said, just come down with me. I got to take care of this, and then we'll go out. So she said, the owner's son might be there. I didn't like him, but I think you will. So apparently she was right, but so that's how we met, and I was drunk, so that explains a lot, and that's why I'm so mellow these days, because I figure, hey, I did this to myself. And no, I'm from Cleveland originally, like okay. Jason. So.
All right, this is a pretty easy one from Lisa Hardy. Do you miss his flock of seagulls hairdo? I should have had a picture ready, but yeah. I don't.
So
imagine, if you will, I had hair at one point.
So luckily, that was pre-Stacy days, so I don't know how I would have felt about it. I mean, it was cool to see in pictures, but I don't know if I would have thought he was a real dork if he actually had that hair when I knew him. So by the time I knew him, his hair was more normal.
Okay.
I think we did dye it like kind of reddish orange, though, but it was a normal haircut.
Hey, Nay, skip the next Lisa Hardy one and go to the last Lisa Hardy one.
Okay. So Lisa asks, do you ever zone out and just nod and make encouraging noises when he shows you his loot from his shopping trip? That's what my husband does.
Every day.
Hey, honey, look at this cool thing I bought. And she goes,
okay.
Yep. It is a fairly regular occurrence.
So Kimberly wants to know, Kim, because her name's way too long, wants to know, you guys travel and go thrifting. Do you guys pack it in a suitcase or ship your items home?
So it depends. He is always prepared. So when we leave for the trip, we pack an empty duffel bag in our suitcase, which we will know that will be mostly the dirty clothes, so then we can use the suitcase to pack things. But, of course, then we take 2 carry-ons that are usually heavier than our checked luggage, because that's where he puts all the breakables and the CDs and everything else that he buys. We did have one time, at least once, when we were in Florida. I remember going to the post office in Key West, and we shipped boxes of dirty clothes home because we had bought so much we needed the room for what we had purchased. So typically we try not to ship, but it has happened.
So just to interject here, Don Starrett says, hate the Buckeyes, but love you, Stacy. So, Stacy, I just thrifted a Buckeyes shirt for you. So,
Yay!
It's coming home with Jason in June.
Well, I didn't go to Ohio State. I went to Miami, if that makes you feel any better, Don.
Miami of Ohio, though.
Yeah.
It's a really cute shirt, though, and it'll fit you. So,
cool.
It's coming home with Jason.
Okay, you're up.
Okay. So Glenda Wigington Edmonds asks, what percentage of Jason's wardrobe is thrifted? Also, do you have a lint roller at ready for any pug hair that happens to adorn your clothes?
Yes, we have lint rollers in every house, every room of the house, I think.
In every house. We have more than one house.
And it's hard to keep track, honestly, because he shops so much. I mean, he buys online, he buys at retail stores, he thrifts. It's probably a little bit more difficult for him to find clothes in the thrift store just because he's so tall. So I would say that thrifted is probably a fairly small amount, maybe 20%.
All right, I'm going to put all Kay Copsy's questions together because they kind of go together. Where did I take you on our first date? What car did I drive? And have you ever thought, uh-oh, what did I get myself into?
Well, to answer that last
Come on,
one,
Kay, I thought you lied to me. What the hell?
I think about that every day. So our first date was to a Chinese restaurant called King Waz. Still there. We go there every time we go home. And he impressed me by sticking a whole egg roll in his mouth all at once. So to answer your second question, yes, I question it every day. And I mean, that's the third question. And the second one, he was driving you had the Dodge Daytona then, right? Yeah, it was a Dodge Daytona. Yeah.
Our funny man, Toronto Greenhouse, said, what % of Jason's wardrobe has holes?
Well, we've already gotten through that one.
All right, you're up to Pam there.
Okay, so Pam says, Stacy, the next time you move, how much inventory will Jason be allowed to take? Seeing his print stuff has been moved, how many times? How much inventory have you moved? How many times? That still isn't listed. I am guilty of this too.
So obviously from the show, we found out that the print stuff is gone, so it has met its final move.
Still stuff to sell.
I mean, but yeah, so yeah. It'll be gone. And honestly, the answer to the question is, I'm glad that I don't know the answer to this question because if I knew it, I'm sure I would be appalled. And I guarantee you, there's thousands of dollars of stuff in our storage unit that he is slightly aware of, but I don't know how many times.
Slightly, I know everything I got.
No, you don't. I don't know how many times it's moved, but too many.
But I have an assistant who started this week, and she's rocking it. Yay!
Yeah. So that'll help.
Okay.
All right. So you. Oh no, wait. I'm up, right? Yeah.
Yeah, you're up.
All right. Maureen McKivican Crawford. I'll skip the middle part. Maureen Crawford wants to know.
Somebody was surprised you could fit in the Dodge Daytona.
You guys are an adorable couple. How much free time do you give each other? Aw, thanks.
Well, really not a lot. I mean, we have, it's normal when we're not working, we're together, and I consider sometimes when he shops that's working. So if he can go do some stuff and I'll do something else, but we really are usually always doing stuff together. I mean, he'll go up to Frankie's without me on on school nights because I have to be up so early for work. But
Frankie's is a tiki bar for those of you just turning in for the first time.
So yeah, we don't really give ourselves much space just because we don't need to. Right, honey?
Yes, baby.
Okay. So, Maureen McKivican Crawford?
Nope, next one.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, we're on Chris Riopole.
Nope, so, back up. Nope, back up. Doug Shaw.
Wait a minute. I don't have Doug Shaw's.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't.
Then just ask it.
Yeah,
all right.
You
didn't put a space.
Yeah, that's why.
I see. Okay. Does Jason really know what items he has in his multiple storage units and in the house that are not listed? Is he part hoarder, or does he just not have the time to ever catch up with, like most of us thrifters?
So I would say he has a basic idea of what's in the storage unit, but every time I'm over there with him, he's like, "Oh shit, I forgot I had this." So
that does come out of my mouth quite often.
yeah. Oh, there's a whole tub of Halloween stuff, and it's November. Oops. Yeah, so so that happened. The other part of the question was, does he have a lot of, part hoarder? Yeah, I would say like a 90-10. 90. No, but
No.
yes, part hoarder only because he needs to shop. But he's good at selling stuff, so that's the good part. He doesn't hold on to everything, obviously, and yeah, I don't think he'll ever catch up. Which like you said, it's normal, just due to the nature of the biz.
All right, this is a great question because it has nothing to do with thrifting or me.
Oh, God.
Chris, Rhea, Paul, and Chris, tell me how to say your name. Give me phonetically next time we see each other, because I don't know, and I feel horrible not saying it right. Rhea Pole, Rio Pole. Silly question from one short, non-girly girl to another. If you had to choose Doc Martens or Birkenstocks,
Doc Martens,
or neither, and are you a step stooler or a counter hopper upper?
Counter hopper upper. And I have a scar on the back of my leg from when I was like 5, and I'm not sure if my mom's on. If she is, I'm sure she hasn't figured out the chat. But I climbed up and came down, and when the cupboard below was open, and I have a gash on the back of my leg. So yeah, definitely counter hopper upper. Doc Martens every day, man.
Awesome. Okay. Chris Repole also asks, what is your favorite annual marathon, or do you make a point to not repeat?
Well, I've only run 2 full marathons, and I think that may be it. My knee is my good knee went kind of bad during Chicago last year, so I ran Malibu and Chicago as far as the full marathons, and I loved them both for obviously completely different reasons, because totally different environments. And Malibu was real small, Chicago was real big. But I do repeat some of the local ones. I'm working back up to half marathons after my knee surgery, so I do like the local ones where I can just drive to and then just run it and come home. Going, the destination ones it's a whole big thing, so it's kind of
the whole big to-do.
And then you want to have fun, but you're training, and then so. But I enjoyed both of them for different reasons.
Cool, and I admire you for that.
I'm gonna combine Debbie Weeder's 2 here. What kind of cologne does Jason wear, and is it men's or women's? Hey, Debbie. And what is our song as a couple?
You almost poked my eye out. I'm 5'1", by the way. It's the he buys it at Bath and Body Works, and it's the it's the blue thing. It's actually for boys. It's called like Mountain Man or
that surprised me.
Or I don't know what it's called, but it's the blue bottle. So I knew if he ran out and told me to go get it, I would know which one to buy. And what was the other part?
What's our song?
Oh, our song. It's called 2 Occasions by The Deal. Deele.
It's very New Jack Swing,
it's
90s.
Very dorky.
Yeah. I only think of you on 2 occasions.
That's day and night.
Okay.
And we danced to it at our wedding, so,
All right.
I can't think of the last time we ever listened to it, but
no.
I guess that's our song. Yeah.
Okay, the blue bottle. I'm still on the blue bottle, but. Okay, so Kimberly asks, was it love at first sight?
For Jason, yes. For me,
you were number 4 on the depth chart when we met.
Oh no!
Right. Exactly.
So it wasn't love at first sight.
And I didn't care. I knew I was the other woman, and I was totally fine with it. But he would call me when he was on dates with other girls.
Oh.
And I'm like, aren't you out with so and so? So yeah, I'm bored, so I thought I'd call you. So it was love at first sight. Admit it.
No.
Oh boy.
He took me out the next day and stuck a whole egg roll in his mouth. Now isn't that?
You forgot the best part of that story. What did I tell you on our first date the next day?
That you were going to marry me?
Did you say that before?
No.
Okay then.
Oh boy.
And now you're arguing that wasn't love at first sight, and now you just totally blew your whole cover.
I wasn't in love, but I knew I'd marry you. Two totally different things right there.
Jeez.
All right.
You're up?
Yeah, we kind of talked about that one, so let me skip that one. Beverly Clark, what's the one thing, Jason, you don't think we did that already?
No, you can go to the next one.
Yeah. Beverly Clark, what's the one thing Jason does that you wish he wouldn't do?
Oh, boy.
So, is it different than anything else you've already said?
No, if I had to pick one thing, it would be paying more attention to me and turning off your freaking phone and iPad and computer and whatever else you're doing. So this is a very appropriate cover. You're blocking the a-hole part. Yeah.
Oh my. Okay.
All right, on to Sue.
So Sue Arnone asks, Stacy, since you really don't enjoy the thrifting scene, I'm curious if you grew up thrifting or not. If you grew up thrifting, is it? If you grew up thrifting, it is in your blood, as I say.
Are you a psychiatrist? Because no, I never thrifted. The only time I even went to a garage sale was when it was ours and we were trying to sell stuff. So I think you have nailed it. I never. I don't think I ever bought anything from a garage sale until I met Jason.
Okay.
Sarah Gottfried said, "Don't be mad at me, Jason." I'm not mad at anybody. This is a fun show. No worries. This is a great question from Sue again. Stacy, do you help with the eBay business, or is it primarily Jason that does eBay?
Oh, it's all Jason, except for when he's traveling. Like he's planning on leaving for 10 days in June, and if his assistant for some reason doesn't work out, then I'm stuck shipping, which is not as easy as anybody thinks. Well, you guys know that. But I always thought it was way easier than it is, and it takes me a long time to ship stuff. So,
but she does.
But it's all him,
and I love her for it.
And I've never gotten a negative from a customer. They've always got their stuff in good shape, but it just takes so much time.
Okay.
So apparently our audience has not seen my cover before.
Oh.
So yes, I do have a picture, narcissistic and hilarious. I do have a picture of myself on my phone. It gets a lot of laughs when I'm out and about. All right, you're up, Nay. You're up, Nay.
Oh boy.
You're up.
I love that band.
So, Susan asks, is there one category of item that Jay's buys that you wish he would never buy again?
Well, there's one thing, that damn robot necklace.
Oh, I should have.
But, yeah,
no,
I don't get that either. So I'm waiting.
I would just say I feel bad when he buys something that he thought was going to be a good seller and it wasn't. But
all of us, yeah.
But there's really nothing, like I said, except for the dead animal stuff. That nah. If he thinks it's going to make money, then fine.
Good answer.
All right, so here's a question that I don't know the answer to, so I look forward to what she thinks. This is from Roberta Plunkett. Stacy, what one item does Jason get the most excited about finding that is not Tiki or Spice Girls?
Well, there's certain clothing items. Like I found that cool pair of what are those jeans? The hipster.
Silver tabs.
Silver tab things. So I don't know if it's necessarily a category of things. I think normally it's more of the unique thing, the unique finds that that you wouldn't that he either especially like on sale day, that it's been out there for hours and he hasn't made it, or days, and he still finds stuff on the rack. I think it's that kind of thing that he gets excited about the most. So it's not necessarily a particular item. It's the, oh my God, I still found this awesome thing 3 days into a sale or something like that. So is that a good answer?
Yeah, and I'm going to throw a quick question from the chat because it's kind of important. Stacy, do you collect anything?
Annoyance.
Annoyance, thank you.
I really like pirates. If you've seen my bathroom,
yes,
which a few of you have, I do like the whole pirate skull and crossbones kind of thing, but not very, no. And most of it's because there's no extra room in the house for me to put anything.
All right.
That hurt my face right now. I'm hurting my face laughing. Oh, my goodness. You're killing me, Stacy.
Sorry.
All right, you're up.
Okay. So my husband and I are, this is Lisa Hardy. My husband and I are polar opposite in sleep patterns. I'm a night owl and Steve is up with the sun. Are the two of you opposite or both up early, stay up late?
We're pretty much in sync. We both, well, I get up.
Bye.
I'm, I don't know who I would be. Anyways, because I have a 6:45 a.m. call every morning, so I'm up by about 6:15 or 6, whatever, to take the dogs out, get them all ready so I can be on my call. He usually
schedules on my time, so
yeah. He's usually up shortly thereafter, and then we usually go to bed around 10:30. Sometimes he'll stay up a little later, but and of course a lot of it's dictated by the dogs because they don't care if it's a weekday or weekend, and they're up when they want to be up, and so. But yeah, luckily we're on the same schedule.
And you read that last one on the paper, and then I'm going to jump over to our Facebook page real quick and knock out a couple so you can finish up the paper.
So Lauren Cato asks, at your house, who cooks? Do you have set meal times? And will Jason starve if you're not home to make dinner for him?
When it's nice weather, Jason grills. So we do a lot of grilling. I'll make some fun stuff like tuna casserole is one of his favorites. Or like burrito casserole kind of thing. I can cook. I usually just don't. So yeah, we take turns, and sometimes it'll just be something quick. But we try not to eat like prepared foods too much. But as far as when I'm gone, yeah, he keeps Chipotle in business when I'm gone.
And he leaves the oven on and almost burns down the house.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
So. But, Toronto Greenhouse wants to know if I give you a hall pass for Johnny Depp dressed as a pirate.
Would you?
Oh yeah, but Johnny Depp ain't your.
No, Colin Farrell.
Yeah.
Who else do I like?
But my mom.
But Johnny Depp as a pirate is pretty. He's a pretty good looking pirate.
So here's something my mom brought up in the chat, and everybody's now asking about. So here is the key to a successful marriage. Get your pens out. Get your paper out. Here's the key. You're looking at me like you don't know what I'm going to say.
Oh, I didn't know if I was supposed to say it.
Oh, no.
We're like, playing off each other.
Separate sheets on your bed.
The flat sheet.
Yes.
Obviously.
So we obviously share the fitted sheet because you can't have more than one of those. And then we have a comforter. But also we have our own sheet and our own blanket. So we each have a king-size sheet on a king-size bed. So it's just a mess of sheets. Yeah. But I'm always hot. She's always cold. She alligator death rolls into her sheet like a burrito. So when I do want it, it's never there. And so about 7 years ago, I said, screw this. We're having our own sheets. So it's a big mess, but, man, we never fight over sheets ever. So it's a much nicer sleep at night.
Yeah, true.
All right, a couple quick last questions from the chat, from our Facebook page. So if you've not been on our Facebook page, Thrifty Business with J and A, head over there and like it because that's where we post a lot of cool stuff. Kathleen Jackson wants to know, Stacy, how did Jason talk you into letting him convert a bathroom into a photo studio? Do you really never use that beautiful large bathtub?
Yeah, I'm not a big bath person, and we do have another bathtub, just a regular one, in the other bathroom in case I felt the urge. But it seemed like such a good idea. Plus, it got all that crap out of the hallway in the bedroom where it was before. So I figured, yeah, it's worth it. Put it in the bedroom. In the bathroom.
Henry Sherrick wants to know, what would it take for you to go back to the Goodwill by the Pound store? So those who don't know, I took her
Henry.
one time. She
question.
shuddered and said, I'm never coming back to by the Pound store.
Henry, you're bringing up very bad memories. I would say I would have to, and this is going to sound weird, but this is me. So I would need to wake up the next day 15 pounds thinner and never gain weight again.
Oh my God.
There's more. There's more.
Wait, there's more.
That's not it. But go ahead.
Okay.
I would also be able to run any marathon that I wanted anywhere in the world for free.
Okay, then it's not happening ever again.
Yep.
And yeah, I think that would be good. That would be. I don't want to be selfish. Those two things would do it for me.
And Henry also asked, and others did too. I don't want to get too deep into it, but people want to know what you do for a living. You touched on it a little bit earlier.
Yeah, I work for a financial services firm. If I shared any more information, I'd have to kill you. So that's all I can say. Normal 9-to-5er. I used to have to wear suits every day, but now that I work out of the house, I wear the blouse on top and the shorts on bottom because I'm on video calls all day.
And the last question, and this is just so perfect to end with, Hope Grego. Stacy, what do you adore most about Jason? When did you know you're going to marry him? How did he propose? And who had the pug first?
Those are all good questions.
What do I adore about you? I wish I would have seen this question sooner so I could think about it.
I'm calling a divorce.
I adore that you appreciate my sense of humor.
No.
And that you are pretty easygoing for the most part. And you are a challenge, which I actually like, because we are very similar in certain things. So I do like that you're not boring. So all those things together. Is that good? Is that good?
That's
Okay.
a good answer.
And then when did I know I was going to marry you? Maybe like when you asked me.
Ah!
I'm not sure if I...
That's a good answer, I guess.
And even then, I was like, I'll say yes, and I can always change my mind, right?
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. So I don't know. That's I didn't know the next day like you did. But I think I had a feeling that once he came to his senses and stopped playing the field that we'd end up together. And what was the last part of that question?
Who had the pug first?
Oh, well,
no. How did he propose?
Oh,
that's a good story.
This is good. So
Right.
I know we're like going way over.
Yeah.
But save the best for last, like you said. So he proposed a couple times. The first time. Oh shoot! The first time was right?
No, that was not the first
That
time.
wasn't the first-
Oh my God! Oh my God!
No, I remember. I remember.
All the grief I took
Most
tonight.
people don't have to remember 3 different proposals.
She didn't remember the first time I proposed to her. What is this bullshit?
So it was in
I
Chagrin
am
Falls.
outta here.
It was in Chagrin Falls. It was after his sister did some play. I don't even remember what it was.
I think it was
And-
Music Man.
And at that, I don't even remember where I was working. I think he was delivering pizzas, whatever. So he couldn't afford a ring. So he borrowed his sister's clatter ring, because I'm so Irish. And you know,
Jew.
after we left the
God.
show, he got down on his knee and asked me to marry him, and I apparently said yes. So that was the first time, and then the second time with Cedar Point.
Yeah.
The second time we were at Cedar Point. If you guys don't know, it's an amusement park in outside of Cleveland in Sandusky, Ohio, and he had a ring made with both of our birthstones. So it was kind of like, you know, wrapped around your finger, and then the stones were on each end, you know what I mean?
But wait, pause. We were getting a house, so we had enough money for either a down payment on a house or a diamond ring. And luckily, I married a smart woman who said we need the house more than we need the ring.
Yeah. So even though I had already said yes, so this was more of an official, now I get my own ring. So as we were going up the biggest hill of which roller coaster?
Magnum.
The Magnum, which was like the biggest coaster in the world at the time or something.
Yeah.
He's fumbling around in his pocket trying to get this ring out, and and it's basically he's asking me right as we're getting to the top,
Oh my
and
God.
I'm freaking out because he surprised me anyways. Plus I'm about to go down this big hill, and I'm afraid he's gonna drop it, or I'm gonna drop it, so that was the second time. So it was a little more exciting than the first time.
So I got it on her finger just as we.
And then the third time
Third.
was a
Well, I did not ask her to marry.
it was like this was like the third ring.
Yeah. We're married. You're married for
then
a
I
little.
have to tell the story.
No, but
Oh my God.
But
Oh my God, my
we were married
mouth.
for a little bit. I'll finish it up. We were married for a little bit, and I finally had secretly saved money to buy a diamond ring, and we went to Boston for a vacation, and it was summertime, and we were in the Boston Commons on the swan boats, and I wanted to give her this diamond ring, but for like 3 or 4 days we'd walk around Boston, and I was looking for that right moment, but we were wearing shorts, and I had this big ring thing in my pocket, so I always had to keep her on the other side of me, like, get over here. So finally we're on the swan boat, we're with a bunch of other people on the boat, the guy's pedal in the back, and I looked at her, I go, hey, would you be pissed if I made you cry in front of all these strangers? And she's like, what? So then,
Because I'm such a crier.
yeah, so then I pulled out the diamond ring, which she did not know I've been saving for, and I asked for her hand for a third time, even though we were already married at that point.
And then I did get another diamond at your parents' house.
Yep,
Something.
and now she wants another
For
one,
birthday.
so yeah.
Oh, yeah, now I
The
want
rings and the diamonds just keep on rolling, fellas. Just keep on rolling.
It's my midlife crisis. I want a big one.
I want a truck.
So-
She wants a big diamond.
So Peggy Smith, tell Regan, I need a big one this time. Bigger.
All right, we are way over our show, but I knew it'd be great. We had over 200 viewers the entire show, so thank you, everyone, for tuning in live. Go down here and click like. Where am I going? Like, and then come over here and click subscribe if you haven't already. And we're going to have this was an epic show, but next week we're going to have another great guest. Like I already told you, Rakin Profits is on next week. And I he thanked me for saying, hey, would you like to come on my show? And I said, no, thank you, because I'm going to pick your brain. You've got some skills that I need to make more money that we all could use. So next week is going to be another epic show. You will not find anything embarrassing about me next week, I don't think. So, so thank you, everyone who tuned in. It was a great show. Thank you, Nate, for being my co-host. Thank you, honey, for marrying me 3 times.
You're welcome.
And but man, don't forget, first week June, our show from Philly 8th Thrift is gonna be epic.
Yeah.
It's gonna be so much fun. We'll do prizes. We're gonna raise some money, I think, for Philly 8th Thrift. We're gonna hear about their program, and I think we will do live shopping in the show. I think I can figure out how to take us mobile and move us around the store. So we are. Oh, and that brings up one more thing. That weekend, the day before, we're going to do a practice show for about 15, 20 minutes. So if you want to see some behind the scenes, tune in for that, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, tune in for the practice. It could be fun. You might win a prize. You never know. All right.
Thank you, everyone, for the great questions.
Yeah, they were awesome. And I had a little stipulation in our contest. I'm going to get rid of it. I don't think that Sherry tuned in tonight, so she still wins. But we're all going to give her shit for not tuning in tonight.
Right?
I didn't see her in the chat. I never got a message. Sherry, you still win, but where were you?
Barely.
Where were you,
Just because
Sherry?
he's in a good mood.
Thank you, Stacy.
All right, Nate, you can take us out of here, girlfriend.
All right, so I just want to say thank you, Stacy. You were our best guest ever. I loved your answers. Great job. Thank you. Love you. Hugs.
Hugs.
And
next week we're back on Thursday, so tune in on Thursday.
Yeah, I have my cancer support group tomorrow night. So thank you, everyone, for switching nights. And thanks. Good night. Have a good week.
Oh, there's my boy. Shit, I turned everything off already.
What's he on?
Yeah, he's right behind you.
Looks like he's on your folder.
Yeah,
Yeah, he look like a parrot.
He's on my printer. He's actually on my printer, yeah.
I already turned off all the sound effects and everything, but he shows up right at the end.
Very rare appearance, yes.
Thank you, everyone. And I said you can end it, but I'm going to end it. Margaret Collier, I'm going to be doing a little thing with her next week, but sending out love and good vibes to your mother.
Yes.
So,
Same here, Margaret. Love you.
Yep. Love you guys. Thank you. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye. I won't see you next week.
Ah!